What if I told you that everything you think you know about death is wrong? That death isn't the end, but actually the key to living fearlessly? In the next 26 minutes, we're going to shatter your biggest fears and reveal ancient secrets that could transform not just how you die, but how you live every single day. This is knowledge that mystics have guarded for thousands of years, and today you're getting it all. Stay with me. Your life is about to change.
Death, an Inside Story, Audiobook Summary. Sadhguru's Guide to Understanding Death and Dying.
Life gets busy. Has death, an inside story, been sitting on your reading list? Instead, grab the key ideas now. We're breaking down this powerful book in this summary. If you don't have this life-changing guide yet, order it here or get the audiobook for free to dive deeper and support Sadhguru.
Introduction.
What if everything you think about death is wrong? What if death isn't scary but natural? These questions might sound weird, but they're super important. Most people avoid talking about death. We act like it won't happen to us. But here's the truth. Death is as normal as breathing. Understanding it can make your life better and more peaceful. That's what Sadhguru shows us in Death and Inside Story. This isn't just another feel-good book. Sadhguru uses thousands of years of ancient wisdom to help us understand death from the inside. He teaches us how to prepare for our own death, help others who are dying, and stop being afraid of death. What makes this book special? Instead of avoiding death, Sadhguru treats it like a natural process we can understand and control. He explains the science of dying, what happens after, and simple steps we can take now to have a peaceful death later.
About Sadhguru.
Sadhguru isn't your typical spiritual teacher. He's a yogi, mystic, and teacher who makes ancient wisdom easy to understand. He started the Isha Foundation and has helped millions of people through yoga programs and spiritual guidance. What makes Sadhguru different is how he explains hard spiritual ideas in simple ways. He doesn't ask you to believe anything without proof. He wants you to explore and find truth yourself. His approach to death is the same. He shows it as something to understand, not fear. The Isha Foundation now works in over 300 centers worldwide. Through programs like Inner Engineering, millions have learned to control their physical, mental, and spiritual health. This gives Sadhguru a unique view of how different cultures think about death. What scares you most about death? Share your thoughts in the comments and let's talk about it together.
This book is for you if
Death, an inside story, helps anyone ready to explore life's biggest mystery. This book is perfect if you avoid thinking about death, but know this fear is stopping you from living fully. Care for someone who is dying and want to help them have a peaceful transition. Struggle with grief after losing someone and need deeper understanding. Work in healthcare or counseling and want to understand dying from a spiritual view. Wonder what happens after death but want real wisdom, not just theories. Practice meditation or yoga and want to understand how these prepare you for death. Face your own death due to age or illness and want wisdom instead of fear. This book is great for people tired of how Western culture either medicalizes death or ignores it. If you're ready to see death as natural and understandable, Sadhguru's insights will change how you think about both dying and living. Ready to transform your understanding of death? Download the Story Shots app and discover this summary in text, audio, animation, and infographic formats, plus 1 million more books that can change your life in minutes.
Story Shot 1. Death is not the enemy of life, but part of its flow.
Think about your last breath before sleep. You don't panic, right? You just let it happen. Sadhguru says death should be just as natural and peaceful. Most people see death as life's enemy, something that destroys everything we love. But this creates fear, and suffering. Sadhguru explains that death isn't the opposite of life. It's actually part of life's flow. Like a river doesn't stop being a river when it reaches the ocean, we don't stop existing when we die. We just change form. Here's a simple way to get this. Every cell in your body dies and gets replaced regularly. Your skin cells die every few weeks. Your blood cells die every few months. You're literally dying and being reborn all the time. But you don't fear this natural process. Death of the whole body is just the final step. The problem starts when we think we are our body. We think, I am this body. So when the body dies, we think we die too. But Sadhguru teaches that you are much more than your body. You are consciousness and energy that lives in a body for a while. Simple example, imagine wearing a coat. When you take off the coat, you don't disappear. You're still there, just without the coat. Your body is like that coat. Death is just taking it off. The real you continues on. This changes everything about how we live. When you stop fearing death, you start really living. You make choices based on what matters, not what keeps you safe. You love deeper because you know every moment is precious. What would you do differently if you weren't afraid of death? Share your thoughts and tag us at Story Shots.
Story Shot 2. You have 5 layers. Only one actually dies.
Most people think they're just a body with thoughts and feelings, but yogic science says humans exist on 5 levels. Understanding these layers is key for preparing for death, because only the outer layer actually dies. The food body is what most people think of as themselves. This is your physical body: skin, bones, muscles, organs. It's made from food you eat. When people die, this is the only part that stops working. The energy body is the life force that makes your physical body work. Think of it like electricity running through a machine. Without this energy, your body would be dead matter. This energy doesn't die when your physical body stops. It continues. The mental body includes all your thoughts, emotions, memories, and patterns. This is where your personality lives. Most of what you think of as you, your likes, dislikes, fears, and dreams, exists here. This also survives physical death. The wisdom body is your deeper intelligence and intuition. It's the part that knows things without thinking. This is where real wisdom lives, beyond just mental knowledge. The bliss body is the deepest layer, pure consciousness and joy. This is your connection to the source of all existence. When you feel pure happiness or deep peace, you're touching this layer. Why this matters for death? When your physical body dies, you don't lose everything. 4 out of 5 layers continue. This means most of who you really are survives death. The more you develop these inner layers during life, the more conscious and peaceful your death will be. Have you ever felt connected to something bigger than your physical body? Tell us about it in the comments on Spotify or our website.
Story Shot 3. Master your energy to control how you leave your body.
Here's something most people never learn. You can control how you die. Not just when or where, but the actual process of leaving your body. This control comes through understanding your vital energies. Your body has 5 main types of vital energy. Think of them like different departments in a company. Each has its own job, but they work together to keep you alive. Samana controls your body temperature and digestion. When this energy is strong, you can handle tough conditions. Masters of this energy can sit in snow without getting cold. Prana manages your breathing and thinking. This is probably most important because it connects your body and mind. When your breathing is calm, your mind becomes peaceful. When your mind is upset, your breathing gets irregular. Udana is the energy that lets you rise up or go beyond physical limits. Advanced yogis use this to levitate or consciously leave their bodies at death. For most people, developing this energy means becoming less dependent on outside things for happiness. Apana controls elimination and reproduction. This energy needs to flow down and out to remove waste from your body. When blocked, it creates problems that make peaceful death harder. Vayana is the energy that holds all your cells together as one body. This is why some advanced practitioners' bodies don't decay for months after death. Their energy is so strong it maintains the body even after life has left. Simple practice. Focus on your breathing for 10 minutes each day. As you breathe in, imagine drawing in pure energy. As you breathe out, imagine releasing all tension. This simple practice starts giving you conscious control over your most basic vital energy. What practices help you feel most centered and peaceful? Share your energy management tips with our Story Shots community.
Story Shot 4. Choose your exit point to shape your next life.
Your body has 7 main gateways where your life energy can exit when you die. Where you exit determines not just how peaceful your death is, but also what kind of life you might have next. Exiting through the base chakra happens when someone dies in fear, anger, or extreme attachment to physical pleasures. People who exit here often had lives focused mainly on survival and material concerns. Leaving through the heart center occurs when someone has lived with real love and compassion. These people often return with natural abilities to heal, teach, or inspire others. Their lives tend to focus on helping rather than just achieving. Departing through the crown chakra is the goal of all spiritual practice. When someone exits here, they do so in complete consciousness and may choose whether to return to physical form or merge with the source of existence. The practical point: you don't have to wait until death to work with these energy centers. By developing the qualities of higher chakras during life, love, wisdom, clear communication, spiritual insight, you naturally prepare for a more conscious death and a more evolved future existence. Simple daily practice. Spend a few minutes each day focusing on your heart center. Put your hand on your chest and breathe deeply while thinking of someone you love. This simple practice starts to activate the heart chakra and moves your consciousness toward love rather than fear. Which chakra qualities do you want to develop more?
Story Shot 5. Overcome death fear by expanding beyond your body.
Fear of death is really fear of the unknown. We're afraid because we think we are our physical body and can't imagine existing without it. But Sadhguru teaches that you can overcome this fear by experiencing yourself as more than just a physical form. Why are we so afraid? Most people have never experienced themselves as anything other than their body and thoughts. When you think, "I am this body," then death seems like complete destruction. But you've actually had experiences of being more than your body, even if you didn't notice them. Have you ever been so absorbed in an activity that you forgot about your body completely? Have you ever felt deep peace in nature that connected you to something larger? These are glimpses of your true nature beyond physical form. The meditation approach. Regular meditation helps you experience consciousness separate from physical sensations. When you sit quietly and watch your thoughts without getting caught up in them, you start to realize that you are the watcher, not the thoughts themselves. The nature connection. Spend time in natural settings where you can feel connected to something larger than yourself. When you truly feel that you're part of the same life force that moves through trees, rivers, and mountains, death becomes less scary because you realize that life force can't be destroyed. Daily exercise. Spend 10 minutes each day sitting quietly and asking yourself, who is aware of my thoughts? Who is aware of my breathing? Don't try to answer with your mind. Just rest in the awareness that is aware of everything else. The goal isn't to become careless about your body or eager to die. The goal is to realize that you are much more than your physical form, so death becomes a transition rather than an ending. What experiences have given you a sense of being connected to something larger?
Story Shot 6. Transform grief from personal pain to spiritual growth.
Grief is one of the hardest parts of death, not for the person who dies, but for those left behind. Sadhguru offers a completely different view of grief that can transform this painful experience into an opportunity for spiritual growth. Grief is about incompleteness, not love. Most people think grief proves how much they loved someone. But Sadhguru explains that grief is actually about your own sense of incompleteness. You feel like a part of yourself has been torn away because you had made that person essential to your sense of wholeness. The difference between missing someone and grief: it's natural to miss someone who has died. You can feel sad that you won't share new experiences with them. But grief goes deeper. It's a desperate, clinging sadness that refuses to accept what has happened. Transforming grief into understanding. Accept that everything is temporary. Everything in physical existence is temporary, including our relationships. Focus on gratitude. Instead of lamenting what you've lost, appreciate what you were able to share. Honor their memory through growth. Become a better person because of what they taught you. Help others who are grieving. Service to others transforms personal pain into compassionate action. The ultimate goal is to transform your relationship with the person from physical attachment to spiritual connection. You can still feel love and connection with someone who has died, but it becomes a source of strength rather than suffering. How has experiencing loss changed your perspective on life? Share your healing journey with our Story Shots community. Comment on Spotify or our website and help others find hope.
Story Shot 7. Why Suicide Never Solves Problems. The Energy Perspective.
One of the most important topics Sadhguru addresses is suicide. This isn't just about mental health, it's about understanding what actually happens when someone takes their own life, and why it never solves the problems people think it will. The energy reality. When you die naturally, your life energy has completed its cycle and moves on peacefully. But when you force death through suicide, you're cutting the energy cycle short. It's like unplugging a computer while it's running. The programs don't shut down properly and you can lose important data. What happens after suicide? The person's consciousness doesn't find peace. Instead, they remain stuck with the same mental and emotional patterns that made them want to die in the first place. The problems they tried to escape actually follow them. They don't get relief. They get more confusion and suffering. The ripple effect: suicide also creates intense negative energy that affects everyone around the person. Family members, friends, and even strangers can feel this disturbance for years. It's not just emotional trauma. It's actual energetic disruption that can influence others toward depression and self-harm. A better approach. If you're struggling with thoughts of suicide, Sadhguru teaches that the real solution is to change your relationship with your thoughts and emotions. You are not your thoughts. You are not your problems. You are the consciousness that observes them. Practical help. Instead of trying to end your life, work on ending your identification with negative thoughts. Practice meditation. Spend time in nature. Help others who are suffering. These activities help you realize that you are much more than your current problems. Simple daily practice. When dark thoughts come, don't fight them or believe them. Just watch them like clouds passing in the sky. Say to yourself, I am not these thoughts. I am the one who sees these thoughts. This creates space between you and your suffering. If you or someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, please reach out for help. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 988 in the U.S. Have you found healthy ways to deal with dark thoughts? Share your strategies with our Story Shots community. Your experience might save someone's life.
Mental Models from Death. An Inside Story.
the 5-layer understanding model. What it is: recognizing that humans exist on multiple levels with only the outermost layer being physical. How to use it: when you're stressed or upset, ask yourself which layer is actually affected. Often, we think our whole being is threatened when only our physical comfort or mental preferences are challenged. This helps you respond more appropriately to different types of problems. The Death Preparation Framework. What it is: a systematic approach to preparing for death that focuses on consciousness development rather than just practical arrangements. Components: energy mastery through breathing, attachment release by letting go gradually, consciousness expansion by experiencing yourself as more than your body, and service orientation by living for something greater than personal survival. Beyond death, this framework applies to any major life transition: changing careers, ending relationships, or moving to new places. The Grief Transformation Process. What it is: moving from personal attachment-based suffering to existential understanding and spiritual growth. How it works: transform loss from "why me?" thinking into wisdom and compassion for others facing similar challenges. This model applies to any loss: job loss, relationship endings, health challenges, or major disappointments.
Implementation Guide.
Today, start now. 5 minutes. Death Awareness Practice. Before going to sleep tonight, spend 5 minutes thinking about the fact that this day will never come again. Notice how this awareness affects your appreciation for the experiences you had today. Simple breathing. Do 10 conscious breaths right now. As you breathe in, imagine drawing in pure energy. As you breathe out, imagine releasing all tension and fear. This week, daily practice, 15 minutes. Sleep consciousness. For 7 nights, try to stay aware of the transition from waking to sleeping. Don't try to prevent sleep. Just observe the process with curiosity. Heart center focus. Spend 5 minutes each day with your hand on your chest, breathing deeply while thinking of someone you love. This activates the heart chakra and moves your consciousness toward love rather than fear. Ongoing practice. Build your foundation. Morning. 10 minutes of conscious breathing to start your day centered. Midday. Brief check-in with your energy levels and emotional state. Evening. Gratitude practice for the day's experiences. Weekly. Extended time in nature without distractions to connect with something larger than yourself. Monthly. Reflect on what you're most attached to and practice letting go of small things. Ready to start your death preparation journey? Download the Story Shots app and access guided practices that complement these teachings.
Final summary and key takeaways of death.
Death, an inside story. Changes everything most people believe about death and dying. Instead of treating death as life's enemy, Sadhguru shows it as a natural process we can understand, prepare for, and even master. Key takeaways that can change your life. Death preparation is really life preparation. The practices that help you die well also help you live well. Fear of death comes from thinking you are your physical body. You can control how you die through mastering your vital energies. Grief can be transformed from personal attachment into spiritual understanding. How you live determines the quality of your death. Who should read this book? Anyone who has wondered what happens after death. Anyone caring for a dying loved one. Anyone struggling with grief, or anyone who wants to live more fully by understanding life's complete cycle. Which insights from this summary hit you the hardest? How might these teachings change your approach to both living and dying? Share your thoughts and tag us at Story Shots.
Related Story Shots. Audiobook summaries you'll love.
If death, an inside story spoke to you, Check out these related book summaries on StoryShot's podcast and app. Inner Engineering by Sadhguru. Sadhguru's foundational work on achieving well-being through yogic science, essential for understanding his broader teachings. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. A guide to spiritual enlightenment that complements Sadhguru's teachings on consciousness. The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. A powerful transformation story perfect for spiritual seekers. On the Shortness of Life by Seneca. Ancient Stoic wisdom on making the most of our limited time. Complements Sadhguru's teachings with practical philosophy. Want more life-changing summaries? Download the StoryShots app for access to over 1 million book summaries.
Join the StoryShots community.
Ready to dive deeper? This summary just scratches the surface of Sadhguru's profound wisdom. Here's how to continue your journey. Listen to our podcast. Search Best Book Summaries by StoryShots on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. Download our app, get the StoryShots app for free, and access over 1 million book summaries in audio, PDF, infographic, and animated formats. Join the conversation. Share your thoughts about death and spiritual growth. Tag us at StoryShots and use hashtag #DeathAnInsideStory. Be featured. Have a powerful story about overcoming fear of death? Leave us a comment on Spotify or our website. We'd love to share it on our podcast. What's your biggest takeaway? Comment below and start a meaningful discussion. Your insights might help someone else on their spiritual journey. Ready to transform your understanding? Order Death, an Inside Story, or get the audiobook for free using the link in the show notes or the StoryShots app. This summary was created by the StoryShots team to make the world's best books accessible to everyone through free intellectual trailers. We believe wisdom should be available to all, regardless of time or reading challenges. If this summary helped you, please share it with someone who might benefit from these insights. Thanks for listening. Until next time, happy learning.